What's up? I want to welcome y'all to week 2 of the Classmates podcast. This is your host, Jason Duncan, aka A-Rod Go Hard, and this is.
KB, how you doing?
First and foremost, we want to start this episode off actually giving a shout out to, I think she's classmate of 2030. Her name is Miss Naira Taminga. This young lady, 13 years old, she got up at a city council meeting in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to actually speak about the lawyer murder, and she just spoke so eloquently, and she actually put a face on the evil that she felt like was around her community, and just wanted to commend her for that. And I just want to say one thing that she actually said in that in her public hearing. She said that she was an IB student, and like they were commended for being smart. So she asked these grown adults, like she said, none of you are smart. She said you can identify these as a problem, but you can't fix it. Once again, I'm young and I don't know much about the law, and I do know that an accomplice to a murder should be arrested. And all of you sitting here and doing nothing are accomplices to a murder. So that was big for her to do that at 13 years old.
It
She
was
has
huge.
she has courage that people 2, 3, 4 times her age do not have. So just want to let you know, Miss Taminga, like you are a queen. Keep on doing what you're doing, and just keep walking in your purpose. You got a fan in me, and I got ordered a T-shirt with your face on it yesterday. So
Oh wow. And I would like to encourage anybody that hasn't seen that clip
yes,
or don't know what you're talking about to watch it
yes,
because it wasn't even like watching a 13-year-old.
right.
That was the
And you can actually look it up under her name, Naira Taminga. I will spell that out for you. Naira Taminga, Tamminga. Naira Taminga.
she went off.
She did, and she has an awesome Instagram. Like she's been in this work. I actually went and actually searched her yesterday and actually looked through her page. Like she is an amazing young woman. So just want to give her some props and give her some shout outs, and hopefully one day we can actually get you on the show. So that's an aspiration of mine. But we about to go ahead and kick this thing off, and KB gonna tell y'all what we talking about.
All right, so today we're going to dig into the Marvin Sapp situation. Never would have paid it. So, everybody. Now, we've had time. We've seen the memes. We've seen the jokes. We have heard the responses, and I feel like now that we know more and can kind of look at this thing, I would like for everybody to look at it in its totality,
Yeah.
not just those 3 seconds that he said, "Close the door, close the door, close the door." Watch the 15 minutes that led up to the close the door, close the door, close the door. Is kind of what I would like for people to do before they judge the situation. Now I did read his internet response a day or so after it kind of went viral, and I did watch the listen to the audio from when he was on Ricky Smiley, and both times he was like dismissive to me.
Very much so.
I feel like the same way that he manipulated the situation around the offering, he manipulated the apology just as well. One of the points that I wanted to bring up from yesterday that we talked about, and I want you to tell a story. So much of like the 48 laws of power and basic psychology be at play in the church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we saw some great examples of that
Most
with
definitely.
the with the lead up to the offering. So what we have is the issue with the licensure, and I had to pay money, and I was behind, and led into, oh, I remember when I didn't have no money, and I took $20 and took my wife, and we bought one drink and two straws, and all. So it's all this. You have the sympathy and the familiarity relation, and then you have the woe is me. Look at how hard it is. It costs to sit up here. You know what I'm saying? Only for you to wrap up in a bow at the end and say, this wasn't my church. This wasn't my event. They wanted me to help raise money. It ain't my fault. Basically, for that to be the end result when you apologized. Can you speak on basic human psychology and ways in which you can appear positive and well-meaning and still get people to do whatever you want them to do?
Like, we talked about this, and I told you it was just like I sold cars for over 10 years, and everything that he was doing inside of that, like, was seeming like he was selling the car to those people. Like, he was actually using the same methods.
Okay, right, okay.
And like
it's just hope he's selling and not cars.
Exactly, it's hope. But my thing is, it's like, anytime, the more you can get somebody to say yes, the more you can get somebody to actually drop their head as far as like in shame or anything like that, the more that you can like get people to like realize what your side is. All you're doing is actually taking everything that they got away from them just so you can sell them something. I've done it before. I've done it before. I had a thing where if your car payment was like $30 more than what you wanted it to be. Like if you came in there looking for a $550 payment, and the numbers I presented you was $580, and you was like, "Nah, I didn't come in here for that. I didn't come for the $580. I came for the $550." The one thing I'm gonna do is try to tie something to your life that you can actually separate from. So it could be just something as simple as a soda. Do you drink sodas every day? Yeah, I do. Well, think about this. If you don't drink that soda, if you don't have that soda for the day, you got your car payment for the day. And 9 out of 10, I can't say 9, 8 times out of 10, people will think about that, and it's like, well, he's right. Yeah. And they sign on a dotted line every single time. That's exactly what he was doing. It's like, let me break these people down. Let them make them think that this $20 isn't worth anything. This $40 isn't worth much to you. You're not gonna miss it if you give it to the church. But not knowing you don't know what those people's situations are. You don't know if it's really hurting them. And now you guilt tripping them, and it's feeling like, okay, if I leave out of this church without giving this man $20 to $40, like, am I gonna miss out on the blessing? That's not okay. That's not okay.
Facts, because you will have those that are so literal that $20 might have been their gas money to get home, and they sold it.
Right.
And then they got to cash out somebody to get home because, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But some people, like, it literally be that literal. I want to talk about how I feel as though, okay, let's go back to the more information added. At the time that the video came out, we didn't know, or I didn't know at least, I ain't gonna speak for everybody.
Right.
He wasn't at his church, because I felt like, why are you talking to grown people with an attitude about shutting the door? You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with protocol. I have no problem with you enacting protocol. But could it be that these people don't do this or are unfamiliar? So all that, and then close the door. It's like, that was a little too sassy for me.
Yes.
That was a little too sassy for me. Like who gonna check me if I don't?
If I don't, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not teaching them why. But you came out in your sob story response, this and in your responses, people are getting, yes, even churches are dangerous. Yes, when the money is going around, it's dangerous. Why you didn't tell them that? Why you telling the internet?
That's it.
You letting them know that in real time instead of shut the door. I feel like would have been a ton much more effective. And not only that, we all human. Don't get me wrong. I got kids, so I sometimes I yell. Right. When maybe I shouldn't have yelled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then I don't come back and apologize. This is why y'all made me yell. I'm sorry, but
that's it.
So yes, okay, maybe a dime didn't go to him, and that's fine. And that's good clarity. I'm glad people know that, because he does do other things. He's a gospel singer. I think he might have wrote books before. Like he's not just waiting on the next offering plate to live.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. However, basic transparency would shut a lot of people up. Okay, so he does commentary. He does things like that online. It's a black guy, but his wife is a pastor or something of that nature. And so he weighed in, of course, on the Marvin Sapp thing when it first happened. And he was like, 40K, like you got your mind set on this exact amount, right, number, 40K, and how you can break it down in increments among the people in the audience. and the people watching, and you know what I'm saying? He was like, imagine God told you to do something and you ain't even break even. I was like, oh. I didn't even look.
What are we doing?
I
What
was
are we
like,
doing here?
I was like, well, that's a way to look at it. I'm not on the finance end, but I know that the Bible does say to count the cost before you start building.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Perhaps maybe it was just that the venue was too big. Were other people charging to be there? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes things don't shake out on the back end, but that ain't them people responsibility. My next problem with that is that was the second offering.
And that's
Let's expound on that a little bit.
That was a big thing with me too. Like this man was, as much as we want to try to look at the apology, think about what he said, we still can't get over the clip. We still can't get over what was said. We still can't get over how it was done. And this is the second time that you asking these people for something. So like, are they in the congregation feeling like, was the first one not enough? Did we not do enough? Like, what more do we need to do? And then
you need to help me cover this event. The first one was the offering. The second one was y'all. Let's get the promoter gonna be on us in a little bit.
But my big issue with it was, why are you bringing your personal stuff into this when you actually speaking on it? If you're not getting anything from this, if you're raising this money for this organization, this association that you told us it's none of in your apology on Rick and Smiley, you said it's none of y'all's business who I was speaking to or who the organization was. Fuck you. It makes no sense in that. So now you got these people feeling sorry for you for the offering that was for the event. That is so. And then you actually got in front of these people and you basically told them that you've been operating as a pastor for 2 years, not having your papers right. So now it's like you adding that personal piece into it, as far as like, okay, now you're playing the fiddle strings, and now it's like, oh, we got to help Marvin out. Because you are the big name in the room, mm-hmm. People do look at you as being like a savior of people because of what you do. Mm-hmm. And now it's like we can't let Marvin down. And God ain't even in the equation anymore. It's like we can't let him down. Like there's no way possible that we're not gonna make sure that our church gets this $40,000 for Marvin, because people are gonna see this right here. That was not fair, and it's not okay for you to do things like that. I made a post about 3 weeks ago. And it said the influence is a hell of a drug. Because when you have it, you don't know how to. Most of the time, people don't know how to use it, and all they do is manipulate it. If I know that this group of people cherishes me, they acknowledge me as being, okay, Jason, he's the one. Mm-hmm. I know that I can do whatever it is that I want to do. And these people they're gonna feed into it every single time. But am I right for actually manipulating? Am I right for making these people do these things that they might not even have the means to do? Mm-hmm. It ain't okay. And for you to have that much influence, for you to have that much power, for you to have that much of a voice and use it in that way, are you okay, Marvin? What's going on with you?
Well, a R&B album right now is what's going on that we're working on. Now, to be fair, I only heard one song. And like I said, it's giving a little bit like early 2000s Dave Hollister. It actually didn't sound bad.
Well, I ain't listening to that shit.
Got love. If you like what you want to go back to, maybe like the old 90s love, maybe it's giving that. You know what I'm saying?
But my thing is it's gonna be hard for me to separate.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. When I heard the freestyle of the Will Smith, and he was talking about, and he was like bouncing around like this, I was like, I'm so uncomfortable.
You're taking me out.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
You're taking me out of my element of what I see
I don't
in
want this
you.
from
I don't want it. No, like I can't see myself, and I'm on a date with a woman or anything like that, and I'm like
yeah, let me turn on this. Bang. Okay. Ooh, all right. Now let's get into a few exacts that he said from the original clip. Mm-hmm. While he claimed Because what came about, you got to be careful with wordplay, because people started saying things like he locked people in the church, he tried to attempted kidnapping. These are very serious things, and they are charges. So he had to quickly shine the light on that he said shut. And that's another thing that I didn't like. Ricky Smiley wanted to play semantics for half the talk that he did. He didn't say lock the door. He said shut the door. It's the intent that was behind it. We can play lyric games all day. It's the attitude that he came with. He says, I never said nobody couldn't come in and out. Yes, but you said shut the doors repeatedly and aggressively, looking dead at the back where the people that are responsible for the doors are.
And you actually told the ushers, close the door.
Yes. Like, are y'all on guard? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So while no, you didn't lock the door, you have now introduced intimidation into God's house.
Right.
And it's behind an offering. Yes, people could leave if they want to, but now how do you feel if you got up and left right then after he just said, okay, lock the door, close the doors? You can have had a teaching moment to explain the hustle and bustle of in and out, the you can't keep coming in and out,
of the sanctuary.
Or you can't you can't do that, and let's keep the sanctuary shut until we do what we need to do. That's fine. Everybody done been a little child in church, and you was at the bathroom and you tried to come back in, and somebody was at the door like this,
holding it.
Wait a minute, baby.
Right.
And then in a few minutes they are open and fight. Everybody has experienced that in church. That was a time to reiterate that, not to get sassy like you was going to really do something because you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? You really won't. If it would have been a YN in that church, it said close what? You would have, y'all would have immediately would lift your hands up and start praying.
It had to been
you know what I'm
Jason
saying?
Duncan
When
in
it
the
don't
church.
even had to do all of that.
And like you said, the intimidation piece was very, very like light shining, because no, you did not say you did not say lock the doors. Mm-hmm. You did not say that. But there's no way that you feel that these people in this congregation then think you were serious about they like you gave them all the reason in the world to know that you were serious about that moment as far as you wanted those doors closed. Mm-hmm. So it might not have been a kidnapping situation, but you made those people feel a certain way about, man, if I get up, Marvin got somebody at the back door that's going to do something to me or that's going to say anything to me. It was just a messed up situation. And I've been in those situations. We ain't going to get too deep into that. Where, like, you not going nowhere. And
that doesn't feel good. That's not fun.
And I've been in this situation myself where it's like, no, you better not go nowhere. You better not move. Uh-huh. It felt almost the exact same way.
Wow.
When he said that, like, and then it's like you were demonstrative in close them. Mm-hmm. Close the doors. Close the doors.
But he admitted that he was aggressive. But let's the repetition that you used and the example that you gave to the people, like he was saying, he talked about how people entering the church with guns, how we do live in an unstable society now, and this is the money time. You get somebody extremely strung out, don't know where their next lick is coming from. They may wake up and see the church parking lot full. That's a lick for them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you not to fortify the church properly.
Right.
What I'm saying is that same explanation that you gave to the people that don't matter on Ricky Smiley, why you didn't tell them ushers that? It's things going on in this world. We need to fortify at this time. This is why the doors are shut at this time. That would have been better than your sass.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
As far as
effective. And you can't tell me that you was mad or riled up and you lost your cool. That's why you did it like that.
And being totally honest, do you do that at every church that you go to? Like if that's what you own, if you're really trying to fortify these places that you go to, like you said, we spoke on this. You had an opportunity for a teaching lesson, and you didn't take it. And real talk, if you're not doing this everywhere that you go, what was the real meaning behind you doing it right there?
And no, but and moreover, if you do this everywhere you go, the people should have understood the assignment.
That's
You
it.
shouldn't have had to kept telling them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, now when Marvin Sapp come, you got to do the offering like this. Don't you play about that dough. You better make sure that you know what I'm saying. It would be a known thing, just like when celebrities travel. You have to have XYZ in their trailer. They have to have 10 minutes of meditation before they go out. They blah, 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 blah. People would know that, and then apparently nobody knew that. Because I don't think it was people just standing in the back, hustling and bustling in and out, or ushers that was like, he ain't talking to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, I seriously don't see that happening.
And
So, go ahead before I move.
I want to speak on, like, we can't get away from the fact that it's money involved with this situation, and money in church has always, and I feel like will always be a conversation. And the one thing that he said is, I don't know if it was $10,000 it was raised. I don't know if it was $20,000 it was raised. I don't know if it got to the $40,000.
Wow.
I don't know that. I don't believe it. Some way, shape, form, or fashion. Like, for you to know that y'all needed that much money, there's no way that I feel like you left and didn't know if the money was raised.
Yeah,
or not.
what's the running tab at least?
Because you need to know, like, was your methods effective? Did what you do really subside into the people, and did it really, really work? I don't see that place or this organization that, once again, that you said we don't have to know about. Fuck you.
But you want our money. Here's the way that religion treats you like children.
Yeah.
You must pay the money and be a good steward, but nobody has to tell you anything. Nobody has to be accountable for anything. Nobody has to. You just need to trust, amen, that the work is getting done. Meanwhile, you struggling in your own house.
Right.
And imagine the richest person in the room is crying about their bills. You are telling me about, how much was it?
He said
the behind in the licensure.
$2,000. $2,000.
But you brag about being a millionaire at other outlets.
You actually said on the Ricky Smiley morning show, I'm a multi-platinum artist. I have all these other businesses that I run. Money is not an issue for me. It hasn't been an issue for me. So like, it wasn't a thing as far, I didn't get any other money.
Money, right.
Why are you so, if that is the case.
Why did you cry broke right before you asked for some money?
It should have never been, it should have never been a part of what you were talking about if that $2,000 didn't break you.
Right, exactly.
Because that $20 or that $40 might be breaking somebody in their congregation.
For real. So let's talk about the assumptive way that religion treats its participants. What he said in the clip, and this was after, now he tried to clean up, to close the doors and make it about proper church protocol. But in the moment, in the clip, you said, y'all not doing nothing but going out to eat when you leave here anyway. So was that about coming in and out, or protection of the wrong people coming in when money's going around? Or are you browbeating the people? We ain't going no way till we get this right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how they felt. What business of that is yours? What I'm doing when I leave here, or the timing that I decide to say. All of that is between me and God.
That's it.
Every piece of it, how much I gave, if I gave or not, and what time I leave here. If I get up and leave because I got to go to work, if I get up and leave to go to Bojangles and come back, that's between me and God. God is going to have to convict me to stop being messy, get you something to eat before you go to church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When I was young, I attended a church, and the pastor used to say this: it's our job to catch the fish. It's God's job to clean them. But too many men want to catch the fish and clean the fish. the fish end up scarred, the fish end up torn, the fish end up gutted, and then we blame the fish.
And nobody gets fed.
And nobody gets fed. We call it church hurt as if it's not a real because it came from church. We downplay it and make it feel like you need to grow up because, oh, well, y'all don't want to take instruction. No, y'all don't know how to talk to people. It's a difference in taking discipline or a misunderstanding. They didn't understand. They don't know. If you're willing to learn and show up, you can take discipline. But if you are an approved disciplinarian, you can do it without sass too. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that whole kind of thing, I didn't like that. Y'all not doing nothing but going out to eat. So that means that you think where I'm going when I leave here can dictate the opening and closing of the doors. Because you don't deem where I'm going when I leave here important, might as well keep them shut anyway. No, that contradicts the reason that you said
exactly
that you shut the door in the first place.
Exactly.
According to the people on the live stream, this was the second offering anyway. He also said, we all leaving out of here together.
Doesn't sound like doesn't sound like it wasn't a hostile takeover to me.
That sound like a stick up. That sound like get on the ground, don't nobody move, ain't nobody gonna get hurt. Give me your phones, give me your watches. That's what that sound like to me. We all leaving here together. Nigga, who?
That sound like the bank job to me. We gonna put everybody's gonna get in black suits so don't nobody know who is when we leave up out of here.
Listen, it's just like, okay, where's my wallet?
We gonna feed you. We gonna put y'all in the car. Everything y'all got,
Everybody put your wallet in the plate. Keep your hands up. You know what I'm saying?
Close the door.
Close the doors.
Oh my God, man! Like
the audacity must have been on sale. That's all I'm saying.
It's just a shame that these are still things that we're dealing with from these people in these what we consider to be high places. I don't feel like nobody sits higher than anybody else, but it's like we do put people on pedestals, especially when they're in the entertainment business or we actually see them. We see them often, and it just goes back to that piece I was talking about as far as the influence. Like how you use it is very, very. You have to be strategic in how you use it. And a lot of people don't know how to be that. And celebrities and people with the who be seen all the time, like they never, like most of the time they don't use it the correct way. We'll see you on a podcast, we'll see you in this interview, and you're just this great person all the time. And then when we see what type of person you are behind closed doors, you're nowhere near the image that you put up. And it just so happened, I feel like that right there is one of those situations where that happened, where he couldn't be podcast Marvin at that time. Like home Marvin came out at that moment, and it messed him up, and he didn't know what to do in that situation. It's just like, I gotta let it flow now. Like y'all y'all the children of God, and that's who I am at this moment. So like y'all gotta listen to me. And I just want to speak on the part there where he actually said where he felt like the interview, like the apology had to come in there, because that was reactionary. Because he said that his family had started receiving death threats and like
we do not condone death threats made upon anyone or their family for any reason.
But this is the thing: it shouldn't have took that for you to feel compelled about what you did.
Okay, that's true.
Like, because your life is in danger now, it's like, okay, let me get on some
statement.
let me make a statement. Let me get on somebody's platform and let people know like it wasn't what you thought it was. And then, like you said earlier, it was a very, very vague apology. Like I don't feel like he really went in depth as far as like it being something that was heartfelt and making people realize like, okay, like it was a mistake. No, you didn't do that. Like you said, it was. The money was for this, and this was that, and this was that, and this was that, and I didn't mean it this way. But you never came out and said, I apologize for my actions.
I was a bit aggressive. You know what I'm saying? He was a bit aggressive. So you actually hit on most of my wrap-up points. That's crazy, but in the end, the focus was the money didn't go to me. That's how I feel like that little apology interview was. which is great to know. But the focus of the video clip, but I feel like he was dismissive. He was still rude and aggressive, period. And they wanted to argue semantics, shut the door versus lock the door, which I agree is also important, but it's still dismissive of the whole 15 minutes before that you spent guilt tripping the people. He's apologizing now, but the statement he put out first on social media was full of manipulation and gaslighting. He kind of did it again, guilting you. Oh, people will commit suicide if they weren't as strong as me. That was like one of the things he went into in the Ricky Smiley thing. Y'all are reporting on things that you don't know. You're letting a clip go viral, and if I wasn't the man that I am, I could have blah, 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 blah. Okay, but if they would research the whole thing and not the clip, it's actually worse. The full context is more damning than that clip. So what do you mean? Because people are just circulating a clip. If you watch the 15-minute lead up, it is more damning than the clip by itself.
KB, before you go into go in depth a little bit, I just want you to tell people because a lot of people, it's a term that we're using now. Like, we know what gaslighting is, but a lot of people don't know what gaslighting is. Like, let people know what you mean when you say, like, he actually gaslit the congregation.
Okay, so the term came originally from, like, psychology, culture, and when you're dealing with narcissists and narcissism, there are hallmarks to narcissistic personality disorder, and a lot of them do the exact same things. One of them is gaslight. Okay, so you're giving people one thing to make them think and feel a certain way, or to spin what you did back on them.
Right.
To where now you are the bad guys now actually the victim. Is now actually poor me, or they will spin it some type of way to now have you in the palm of their hand. And so when we said like he was gaslighting the people, like, you're softening their heart about your bill problems, and you're creating lines of familiarity talking about, oh, back in the time when I didn't have but $20. And all of these things are creating inner warmth and an attitude towards you right before you put your hand out for the second time in the service. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's gaslighting the people, because now you're saying, I didn't get this, I didn't get that, it won't my church, it won't for me. Why did you start crying about yourself then before you asked for the money? And then hit the people behind him on the stage. After some people done already start getting prepared to give, he said, "Now put y'all $20 up, because I ain't talking to y'all. Y'all need to give 100. All the people up here on the stage, y'all supposed to be giving 100, because to whom much is given, much is required." Which I understand and believe in that too. When you are on a higher level, your giving, your asking, things like that is on a higher level. But I'm going to tell you what my granddaddy told me, who was a pastor of many churches for many years, God rest his soul. He knows how much money he giving before he get to church. My granddaddy came in the church with the exact change, with the amount that he knew he wanted to give. For that reason, I believe that he was never emotionalized out of $1 inside of a church building. And he loved the Lord, and he was called according to his purpose, and he was this great, wonderful, intelligent man. But where I think black people, and I want you to speak on this a little bit too, be heavy in emotionalism when it comes to things of the fact, because it requires the unseen, we will completely throw away our brain cells though, in favor of faith. When faith and sense can exist in the same head, because I've seen it done.
Right. Right.
I've seen it done before. But so often, a lot of money issues depend on how well you can manipulate people.
I want to speak on the fact what you just said. When we say to whom much is given, much is required, everybody always wants to put money on that to start off with. It's like, because if God has given you all of this money, you have to give some of it back. But I don't look at it like that. Mm-hmm. When I hear that, to whom much is given, much is required, God is giving you, like, you get the sense from him. Mm-hmm. He gives you the knowledge of all of these things. He gives you everything you need.
You got to use it across the board.
So you got to use it. It's not just your money. Right. If if you made a 1,600 on your SAT and you got all of this knowledge in your head, but you don't give it to anybody else, you're still not doing the will. You're still not following in the wheel. Like if if you know how to plant food and everything like that, and like you can grow crops on your own land, but you don't actually take that knowledge to somebody else and you're not moving in the wheel. So like we always want to talk about money, but it's like with everything that you're given, to whom much is given, much is required, and the much is not always, because I might not have two pennies in my pocket, but I got a whole lot of cents. I still got to give some of that away. I still got to give it away. And when you were speaking about the emotionalism part, like you said, we will throw knowledge all the way to the wayside just because our feelings are into something. Like if I love somebody, like if my love for somebody supersedes my brain, I'm doing something wrong. Because if
you finna get drugged.
Yes, if you got me, because if anybody gets me to the point where I'm not thinking about what's going on, I'm just moving off my heartstrings, I'm screwed up in life. One of my best friends, my big brother, I love him to death, Scotty Brooks. He told me, he said, Jason, when you can think with your heart, you became a dangerous person, and not in a good way. I said, what do you mean? He was like, your thought always, he said, your heart is above your head, your brain is above your heart for a reason. He said, this right here, it emotionalizes, but but the blood travels up back to your brain for you to actually think about that. This is the kingdom. If you break that down, King's Dome, the thought comes from here. When you start thinking with this, you screwed up, and
you might go every which way.
And that's what he was trying to get them people to do. He was like, I don't want you. Don't think from here, because I'm going to play on your heartstrings. I want you to, because if it's in your heart, you probably going to give a little bit more, because you're not thinking about, man, I got a bill that I got to pay. My baby got a field trip that they're going on this week. It's a pair of shoes that I want that's coming out. Anything like that. You know, so I've been saving up for this pair of shoes, and now this man wants $20 out of my shit. But you thinking with your heart instead of your head, so you give it away. And that right there is what the gaslighting part is, like, because gaslighters can play with your heart, can play with your head and your heart, and make you think with something that you're not even supposed to be thinking with.
So this is a little bit, it's sidestepping, but it's still in the realm of the church. So oftentimes the church can be filled with women. It can be very few males or active males in the church. Do you think, and men are known to be more logical and women can be more emotional. I think that's almost balanced with the new men that we have today, but we'll save that for the next show. Put a pin in that one. Yeah. But do you think that's why it's harder to get and sustain men in the church? Because they see through the games faster, and they ain't going for it like a woman is. Do you think the level of manipulation and the way people have trust issues with money is why a lot of time the men numbers are low?
Most definitely. I definitely have to agree with that. And I know most of the churches that I've been to in the last couple of years, like most of the clergy in the church is actually women. Like the pastor, like the pastor of the church or the head, the apostle of the church is mostly male, but like just about all his counterparts are women. And like you said, I feel like it's because of that, because men like we just don't. We tend to think with our head before our heart most of the time.
And it would take one time, let's just say, oh, I'm going to invite my boyfriend with me to church and we're going to XYZ. It wouldn't take but one time for a man to see something like that. The Marvin Sapp situation. And he'll be like, baby, I love you. I respect your church, but I'm not going back.
And I'm not even telling you that I respect your church. If you take me and that right there is what's going on. Hey, listen, baby. I'm going to tell you what. Close it. He said, what, babe? Close it. Let's go. You can stay in here if you want to, but I'm not sitting in here. No, it's not happening. And it's just unfortunate that is where we're at in society. That like we want to, like you said, like you spoke to earlier, we want to say church hurt, but it's not church hurt. It's people hurt. People hurt people.
I don't care. Wherever you go, you will have, somebody hurt you over here, on the job, over this, over that. How is church hurt its own category? That's why I'm saying it's almost like it makes light of it. Like it's not real. Not like it didn't really happen.
But I feel like the term came about is because the criticizing that actually goes on inside of the sanctuary.
Okay.
And well, Sister Tina was messing with Brother John and such, and now they like sister such and such is with this person and all. If I got to come to the place, to the house of the Lord,
and hear about who
and be
hunching on
scrutinized,
who.
yeah, and like you got to hear about who hunching on who, got to be scrutinized for my past or what anything that I like, the things that I've been through. Like, no, I don't want to be here. This is the one place I'm supposed to come to where everything that's not of God is supposed to be gone. But if I got that inside of here, why do I want to be here? But that's with everywhere.
True.
If I'm at school and I don't want to go
Bunch
to
of
school.
gossip all the
If
time.
I'm at work and that's going on, I don't. So church hurt is the same thing. It's just hurt. Period. It's just hurt. Period. But I feel like it's its own category because the stature or the level that we actually put religion in the church on. Like that's something that's actually high, and it don't matter what culture that you go to. Like I feel like the top 3 things in any culture is God, your kids, and church.
Okay.
And God and church is, but I hate to separate it like that right there, but the world is separated. The world has separated because what like we were talking about yesterday. He don't move until you do. I had one of my pastors, Frank Henderson. He told me that he was like, people I want to say, well, God is in the building, God is in the midst and everything, but he ain't floating around. He ain't floating around and hovering over top of nobody. He's in somebody in that room. He's in someone in that room. Somebody is doing the work of doing the work of him, and it doesn't have to be in the church house all the time because we are the church.
There you go. There you go. So this the last thing that really kind of burnt me up in the midst of the asking for the 40K. He referred to it. He said, "Family, this is an easy miracle." That part really, really bothered me because I believe in miracles. I understand the nature of miracles and the supernatural. And ain't now miracle easy.
No.
Whether you looking at the level of faith that it took or whether you looking at the miraculous manifestation that actually happened. Easy is a horrible word to use. I'm rushing to raise this all money tonight, and that will be miraculous if we did. That's what you're really saying. This is not that. So not only that, a miracle needs a problem, or you wouldn't need a miracle. What was the need of the miracle?
Right.
Your lack of the $40,000. That wasn't a miracle need. That was poor planning.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? A little bit of study isn't miracle worthy. You can do that online. You feel me? But yeah, so what was the miracle? You know, I think I mentioned yesterday too, it was a pastor that I heard years ago and it always stuck with me. God will do it. He will even get you out of your own mess. But think about why you need the miracle. What put you in the first place in the need of a miracle? Child, I could have fell out the whole pew. If you can keep your fool self from needing the miracle with small things, you know what I'm saying? You might not have to browbeat a room of people to make a miracle happen. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and we don't look at that when it comes to money. When it comes to money, we just want God to be a genie, a Santa Claus. Abundance, he gonna do it, he gonna do it, he gonna do it. How many times you want him to do it and you a fool though?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
That same pastor I was talking about, Frank Henderson, he gave me a quote, and it has been with me ever since he told me this. He said, Jason, the only place that you are going to find success before work is in the dictionary. You have to work for it. You have to work to get it. Like, you're just not gonna wake. Like, the only people who wake up successful is the people who have a silver spoon, who are blessed enough to have generational wealth. Like, it don't matter. Like, whenever one of them pops out, like they coming into the millions.
Yes.
Everybody else has to work for it. You will not be successful if you don't put the work in. Michael Jordan did not become a multi-billionaire from just waking up saying I'm just going to play basketball. He woke up and trained for that. We talked about Kanye last week, but he did not become a billionaire by saying, okay, I'm just going to the studio. He went to the studio and worked
5 beats a day for 3 summers.
Like the only plot, and that it just holds true. And if people will just realize that, like, you're not going to be successful if you don't put the work in. And even when it comes to these type of situations right here, like, did you really work towards you being able to be a good public speaker? Have you worked to where, like, you can actually present yourself in a way that you're effective without having to talk to people any type of way?
Right.
You lost all of that credibility from just that one clip. And I hate that one clip, that the one clip surfaced, and now people looking at you a different way. But everything happens for a reason, and this right here might be the person that you really are, Mr. Sapp, and and nobody ever got to see it, and now that it's the ugly truth is in people's face. And I don't want you to go through anything behind it, but people needed to know that you got that in you too.
And they're real. Like, when you meet certain celebrities, oh my God, they were so down to earth. They were so this, so that. Some of these quote unquote gospel people I have heard are not the nicest. Like, they act like entitled celebrities just because their lane is gospel or preaching. When you really meet them, stink.
And I feel like that comes from, like, they thought they had this higher anointing than anybody else. God gave me this talent. God turned me into a millionaire.
I'm a Grammy Award winning XYZ.
Everything that I touch becomes gold, becomes platinum, and God gave me all this so I can have the same type of mentality that God has. Because we all know, if you're into the church, that we have, like they say, God is a vengeful God. He's a wrathful God. He didn't give you that. he didn't make us out to be that way. So you can never have that train of thought or that way of thinking if that right there is how you're going to be presenting to people.
True.
So,
Very true. Very true.
But I feel like the rant and rave has been enough. We're going to get off Marvin's top for a little bit, but we're going to let you know. I ain't gonna say it no more. I ain't gonna say it no more. I ain't gonna say, but we still want to know.
He probably get in line now, though. He probably be nice as I don't know what in the offering.
But we definitely want to know who the organization was. Want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Classmates podcast, man. Just so thankful for the support so far. Just making sure that we want to keep on growing and gaining that. And next week, our topic will be accountability in relationships. What you thinking about it, KP?
That should be good. The girls will tussle about accountability.
And
so
the guys will bring muscle. We hear that bell ringing, y'all, so class is out. We'll talk to y'all next week.